What's going on, everyone? My name is Adam and welcome back to Driven Nashville. If you happen to be new to the channel, we produce weekly enthusiast-driven car content. And on this review, while we're not talking about an enthusiast car, we are talking about the car that the enthusiast drives when he is not in his 3RS. This is the brand new 2022 Mercedes S Class. This is a $157,000 top spec car, and I really think you're gonna. So in this video, guys, we're gonna spotlight the entire car. We're gonna go through the interior, which is absolutely incredible. It looks like a yacht. It is absolutely beautiful. We're gonna go through the exterior. We're going to talk about the styling, some of the different changes they've made on this generation. We're going to take it for a point of view drive. And if you're interested in this this vehicle, I really think this video will help you. So stick around because we're going to get into the first clip right now. Guys, I'm here with Gabriel. This is the owner of the vehicle, and he has had a lot of Mercedes. How many have you had now?
Oh gosh, 10 or 11, I keep forgetting.
So he's definitely a Mercedes fanboy, and I think that's pretty rare, actually. I think most people might have 1 or 2 Mercedes. I never met anybody with 11. How would you sum up this particular vehicle, though, now that you've had it now, what, 3-4 months?
I have, yeah, and I've had some of the crazy Mercedes products, too. I've had the GTR and that Green Hell Magno. I've had another S Class like this. But there's something about the S Class that when you get in it, by the time you arrive at your destination, it just kind of ministers to your soul and all your senses in a very different way, honestly, than any other vehicle does. You can have your cool factor, but when you come home or you arrive refreshed, that's a whole different level. And so every time I get in the car, I look forward to driving it. It's not a taxing experience. And so nobody does it like an S Class.
All right, guys, let's just start off real quick showing the exterior and some of the new styling. So they've kind of redone the front a little bit. Now, this has the AMG package here. You can see all this is blacked out. I gotta say, with these wheels and the overall package and the lights and just the overall lines, this is a really sharp looking car. And notice the build quality, no panel gap issues. Everything is beautiful. They did leave this, interestingly enough, in the silver trim, and they didn't go for the blacked out trim like all the Teslas of the world and most of the manufacturers are doing, which looks really good with white. You can see it has the S580 badge on the back here. You can get these, and look at these lights right here, these 3D printed lights here. Really, really cool at night. Integrated rear exhaust, and the drag coefficient on this car is exceptional. These handles actually retract into the vehicle, so this is really helping with good fuel economy. And shockingly, when we do the point of view drive, you're going to see that this car actually gets really good fuel economy. I think you can get almost 30 miles a gallon on the highway, which is, I mean, not bad for a car that weighs 4,800 pounds. But just has that overall elegant shape that the S Class is notorious for. And it just has a great road presence. It's a good looking car. Guys, the piece de resistance of this car is no doubt about it, the interior. So Gabe, talk a little bit about the interior on this car for a second, because it's absolutely beautiful, man.
All right, well, a few of the things, and I'll sit here so you can kind of... When you get in the car, first of all, the smell, right? The quality of the materials, the leather, definitely captures your senses very, very differently. I love that the lines all go wide, so it gives you that classic, almost 70s big dash feel, and you're down in the car and it's a big dash feel, which I enjoy. I love the offsetting colors. You have muted materials, you have chrome, you have matte, you have gloss, so it doesn't create too much of a monotone look. And the other great thing is when you're driving it, and I'm sure you'll talk about this in a bit, not only can you see brilliantly because all of this stuff is augmented reality in your lighting, but from when you turn the blinkers on, when you turn the heat up or down, the lights and the LED lights all work in tandem.
That's cool. To
give you feedback. There's fragrance that comes and is wafted through the cabin. There's ionization and ozone creating, so your particles per million in the car. Even, well, for instance, the other day we were driving past a big road crew and there was tar everywhere.
Sure, it stinks.
And I said, guys, have you noticed? We were right next to it and the cloud of tar smell was all over our car. You smelled nothing.
Guys, real quick, I'm just going to talk about this back seat. I mean, you have the Burmester sound system here, but just look at the amount of space that you get in this thing. I mean, I'm always, 2 inches here. I can literally cross my legs and have no problem. And just look at the details on the back of the seats here. You have the Burmester sound system here, all with the lights. You have the moonroof back here. All this is suede Alcantara. It's just fantastic. I mean, the stitching, the perforated leather. I mean, guys, wow. I mean, this is a special place to be. Now, you can even go and get the executive package, which allows this seat to be, with a button, to be pushed all the way forward. There's a footrest down there, and this, I think, even reclines a smidge. So You can even take it to the next level, but I will tell you, this trim that this car has and the overall feeling of the leather, and I mean, you got plenty of room, guys. Absolutely. And just, let me just feel it. It's just, everything feels so darn high quality. And I also really like these wheels. You still have the drilled brakes, and these are the sport wheels, quote unquote. You can get the executive package that has the slightly larger profile wheels, but these are 255 front tires and 285 rear tires, and these are Pirelli tires. So I'd probably switch those out with Michelin's if you were the second owner, but these are P0 tires, so overall, very good. Okay, guys, we've got to talk about the infotainment, the 3D front screen, and this. So I'm going to turn the vehicle on here. You barely even know the car turned on. Mind you, the windows are open, and you could still barely hear the car turned on. It's just incredible how quiet it is. And I don't know if you could see it, but this is actually a 3D screen. But let's talk about some of the cool features. Let's start with the massage seat. So,
all right, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Now, first of all, I have this set to "You Incredibly Handsome Hunk." I do that for my wife. She loves that. I want to remind her. But of course, this is the fingerprint, right? So it comes in.
You incredibly handsome hunk.
It, of course, tells me every day that I am, so that's a good thing.
We need to be reminded.
We do need to be reminded. And so here you are, right? So I can either voice activate.
Hey, Mercedes.
Turn on the driver's massage.
Turn on the driver's massage.
How may I help you?
Okay.
Turn on the driver's massage.
I'm switching on the massage on the driver's seat.
Nice.
So here's some options, right?
Yep.
If we go to comfort, right, you have both driver and passenger. You have wave massage. One of them I like is deep waves. It's a high vibration in the seat.
I'm feeling a vibration
that actually causes a blood circulation, which I love that. And of course, if you know the side bolsters of the car, when you turn corners, the seat grabs you and holds you in place like any performance vehicle. But it's so anytime you turn your wheel, you feel your seat hold you in place. There's so many different settings. You can heat it. You can make it very aggressive, and of course, the passenger has the exact same amenity.
That's fantastic.
Now,
and let's talk a little bit about the lights in here. So you have it set to red, and the amount of LED lights in this car are just unreal. And we can even see them in the middle of the day here.
I like the red only because it reminds me of kind of like being in a cockpit, or you know, it's almost pilot feel.
Sure.
And the let's actually look at that. To ambient lighting. Now again, you can activate all of this by voice. You can close the sky roof, you can close the windows, the doors, turn on any feature of the vehicle.
Nice.
We love that. So if you go to, you know, the real intense blues, people love the intense blue, right? And even in the daytime you see it.
Look at that.
And these things in the Burmeister 4D, they spool in and spool out.
God, that's beautiful. What a cool color.
Now watch this. Let's look at the lights. So we'll go back to this, and we can change classic. You can have a map view. You can have a distance. See?
Yep.
It'll allow you, and it actually shows you the vehicles in front of you, which is pretty brilliant.
Very Tesla, yeah.
Love that. And then, you know, you can have an exclusive or executive, you know, kind of a classy. Oops, sorry. You can have an, you know, a classy look like this.
That's actually your gauges and your RPMs.
Right, so it'll change this up.
Okay.
And then, of course, if you want multicolor, which my little girl loves that one, she likes these where you have the pinks and the blues.
Wow.
Or you have the...
It's like a nightclub.
Yeah, or you feel like you're by the ocean, or my son's favorite color is green, so he always wants this multicolored green going on.
That is so cool.
You know, red moon is always very pleasant. Now, here's another neat feature.
It's unbelievable how bright it is, too, in the day.
Yeah. One of the great features is the lights. Remember, the lights are part of the communication system with the car. So if vehicles are next to you, the lights on the right side will signal that.
No way.
If there's oncoming traffic or there's issues, the lights are part of the feedback. So another neat feature is the temperature, right? So look up here. As I increase the temperature, it pulses the temperature.
Wow.
If I lower the temperature, it does it in a cool mode, like blue.
And that's just built-in standard.
Built-in standard.
That is something.
Yeah. And when you speak, all of it goes white, almost like a, you know, the signals when you're talking to a device, it'll go white and respond to you, so you know you're interacting with it. So it's, and the more you have it, I still have not discovered everything in the vehicle, and I've had it a few months.
So this is the heads-up display.
You can raise the level or lower the level of the car.
Oh, you can. I didn't know that.
Which is wonderful for getting in and out. That makes it lovely.
Sure.
Snow chains, you know, it even has an option for that.
Wow.
Switch it to manual shifting if you want. 3D and 4D, you can take it off.
Oh, you do have the ability to shift here. I didn't even notice these.
Yeah.
They're built into the steering wheel.
And then you have your dynamic controls, of course. When you hit your dynamic controls, that's when it gets interesting.
Yeah, we'll do a point of view drive and we'll show people the difference on how that works. Is there anything else? I mean, I'm sure the Burmeister sound system is just amazing.
Well, the fragrance is one of, well, We should test that here in a minute. We'll do that in another clip.
It never comes through though, you know, on camera, right?
If you look in here, can you see the fragrance?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. That right there, there's a thing that goes down and connects to it and then vapor locks it into the system when you close the glove box. So
have you had to replace that yet?
No.
So how long is that supposed to last?
Probably 6 months. And I have a second, there's multiple fragrances you can get, which is really nice.
Sure.
And if you look at climate control, here's another amazing feature. Speaking of climate, of course, every ventilation vent you can be.
Well, I like that you could actually change them yourself too, because some of these new
Yes.
cars, like the Rivian, you can't even, you know, manually do it.
And it's not blowing on you with a single blow. It's allowing it to be almost like outdoor breezes, so you're not having just a cold breeze on you in one direction, which can, you know, sometimes make you feel stuffy after a while.
Sure.
But this is a great feature. If you go to air quality,
Of course, we have the windows down, so I'm sure
fragrance
it's
is turned up,
similar.
ionization is up. We're only 1 part per million on the inside, even though it's 3 part per million outside because of the canopy of trees that we're in.
Huh.
But down the road, like I said, this can go up to 20, 30, 50, 500. It'll go to dangerous.
Wow.
And this thing will stay at 1 and 2 parts per million.
That's something.
It's unbelievable.
So check this out. So he's going to play a song here.
All right, here we go. So we're in the system, right? It's recognized my phone. Here we go. We're going to hit play. Even hold on, I'll go back. Even the seats allow you to isolate.
Wow.
And then 4D, I can increase the bass within your seat or any of the seats so you feel the experience. Crazy.
I mean, it just surrounds you. It's coming from everywhere. Even the seat.
Even the
feeling
seat.
the seat vibrate. That's just,
It's
wow.
it's not often that you get to experience music, and this makes me actually like music again.
Real quick, if you're curious, you have phone charging here, you have 2 USB-Cs, you have 2 cup holders, and you also have 2 more USB-Cs here. Plenty of storage in the middle compartment. What's over there?
There's another tray for your glasses or anything else behind
didn't
the
even
screen.
notice that.
Yeah, love that.
That's cool.
It's my daughter's glasses. She loves that.
And does it have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto?
Sure does.
It does? You have
And
to
here we go.
plug it
Ready?
in? Or just, you have to plug it in, correct?
And there it is.
Okay.
And I don't have it connected the way because I was doing something different. But yeah.
Sure. Oh, I love it. So pretty much, guys, everything you're going to need. Yep. Oh, it says Bluetooth Apple CarPlay. I like that.
Even better, no cord.
Yeah, because most of the cars
That way I
require
can keep
cords.
it here and I don't have that wire hanging down, you know?
No, I love it. Checks a lot of boxes for the daily driver, no doubt about it. Here's another fun feature, guys. This car has gesture control, similar to the 7 Series, which kind of got famous a couple years ago. So why don't you talk a little bit about
All right,
that?
now, we don't know if it's going to work because I turned it off and I haven't gone through the tutorial. So there's a whole tutorial on gesture control, and it gives you, like, you'll do this, or you'll do this, or you'll do this. And it makes, you know, stuff open
Gotta
up.
watch a YouTube video just for gesture control.
So supposedly, you know, you do like this, right? I don't have it on because this is open. And well, you'll be driving along and you'll just take your hand and go like this.
Oh, it just
and
did
it'll
it.
open.
Yeah.
Well, you saw it move?
Yeah.
It opens the skyliners, and it does, there's a whole nother section in it, but that does require you having the patience and spending about 45 minutes and learning the gesture control. I just don't want to do, because actually my wife and I—
There's nothing wrong with a button, right? I mean,
nothing wrong with a button. And we've been talking, I've said, honey, you know what? This is da-da-da. And I'll move my hands in a certain way and the car will do something. And I go, oh, I need to deactivate gesture control. That's always fun.
Yeah, no, I think it could be intrusive as much as helpful. Yeah, this opens up, right, all the way?
Sure does.
And that back one does too?
Good positive thing. It's very smart, so it knows what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to close that one too. And then on yours, I'll reach over here. Look, that.
Yeah, so we're gonna show you this car fully closed up now so you can see how dark. So it has this, wow, that's really cool. You got shield there.
There we go.
Shield
Close
there.
the window here.
Wow.
And then when you play the stereo,
Yeah,
it's
right.
a whole nother
Guys,
game.
one of the best features of the Mercedes, and it is essentially the rear wheel steering on this car. Now, this particular package has it at 4.5 degrees. If you get the executive package, it does 10 degrees of rear wheel steer. Gabriel, go ahead and demonstrate what that looks like for the folks. Oh, that's It's not drastic on this, but it's just enough. You can see the tire actually flexes in and out. Really helps with making this very large car quite maneuverable in tight parking spots. That's a feature that I think I'd really grow to love. And I actually wish more cars would use that because I think it's a really handy feature. All right, guys, let's go for a drive in the S Class. First of all, listen to how quiet this car starts. You are good to go. Turn stock's right here. Butter. I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a little bit of fuel and tell you how comfortable it is around some of these turns. Drives like a big car. I mean, it weighs 4,800 pounds, so you're, you know, definitely not a sports car, but it feels very capable on a first impression. Steering's very light. Brakes, you know, they're no carbon ceramics, but they feel nice. You do feel the weight as you come through those turns, but very smooth shifts, and as you can hear, very quiet. Boy, the shifts are smooth too. I mean, right there, you know, you're doing 68 miles an hour and barely even 60% throttle to get there. You'd never know this engine was turbocharged. There's absolutely no hint of turbo spool or blow off. Boy, it is quiet, jeez. All right, guys, in order to enable lane keep, there's this button right here in the steering wheel. It says on off, so you want to go ahead and hold that. And then you want to hit that set button right there. And you can actually see a green icon, and you also see this green icon here on the right. And right now it's self-driving. Now this is never going to have Tesla's full self-driving technology, so it's never going to be able to go into the quote app. But right now, in my personal opinion, Tesla's full self-driving technology is one of the larger scams in the automotive industry, because they don't have full self-driving and they charge you $12,000 for it. And I just found out they're increasing it to $15,000. This lane keep technology, I really think, is all you really need, because all you got to do is turn it on, hit set, and that's easy. And really, do you need full driving? No, you just want to be able to let the car steer itself on a nice back road and on a highway, give you that energy back. That's personally all I would need. I sure as heck wouldn't recommend spending $15,000 to get FSD, which may or may not ever actually come. Now, it's coming up with the warning to go ahead and grab the steering wheel. You can keep your hands on the steering wheel, you can adjust a button on the inside of the car, or you can just do a little jerk like I did. But you can see this technology is working great. This is not exactly a straight road here. It's navigating it just fine. So hats off to Mercedes, hats off to Kia, hats off to Polestar, hats off to Volvo. You know, so many manufacturers now have this lane keep technology. It works really well, and it's a massive selling feature if you want to buy a new car that just frankly the older cars don't have.
Directions to Chewy's restaurant, Franklin, Tennessee.
Please select from the following locations. Where do you want to go?
I believe it's Mallory.
Let's go.
Okay. All right, guys, so let's go ahead.
400 feet, turn left towards I-840 West.
Look at the augmented reality on the screen here. I've never seen this technology on a car. Also, it's showing up here in the heads-up display that I need to turn, and it's actually giving me a triangle. You can feel those turbochargers when you give it the beans. A lot of torque.
It's not even on sport.
Yeah, we'll demonstrate sport mode, but yeah, plenty of power. And this is also a hybrid power plant. Do you know how much performance comes from the hybrid technology?
I don't offhand. I know with our other vehicle we had, it was adding 40 horsepower and 130 foot-pounds of torque electrically to my wife's GLS 450.
So it's probably about similar with this.
Maybe a similar system, yeah.
You can also see here in the screen, guys, with the assistant screen here, you can see the cars that are in front of us. So that's very Tesla-like, I gotta say. And then, you know, since we're on the highway here, again, put on your lane keep, hit set, and now it's just gonna self-drive you to your destination. It does do lane change as well. I am not touching the steering wheel. This is all being done by the car. I'm gonna get it up to 80 miles an hour just so you can hear it. Yeah, you can definitely do some miles in this car. Another thing, guys, it's a little bit warm today. It's about 88 degrees and humid. I just turned on the cooled seats right here. Wow, it works so well. It actually blows air conditioned to air. That is a feature that, you know, if you don't have it, it's easy to forget, but if you do have it, it's hard to live without. I will tell you, when I bought my Model S, it didn't have the cooled seats, and I really missed it from the Model X, because, you know, these hot leather seats, you know, in the summertime, you just can't beat it. But even with these low profile wheels, the car feels very smooth and comfortable and quiet. And I just don't have any negatives of driving it. I mean, you know, it's drives like one of the best, most refined luxury cars ever made, because it is one of the most best and refined luxury cars ever made. And that's just Mercedes for you. I'm gonna demonstrate the parking technology of this car. You want to show the folks?
All right, so you have all these options, right? So,
yep.
Real quick, you have your side views if you need them.
So we're trying to park right here.
And you just have your front camera. So we go here. You can even zoom out so you know the perspective large, or zoom back in and you get exact. See where it is? And the biggest thing about this thing is you have to trust that this is exact, and I can attest it is absolutely exact. Right there is your safe spot, right there. You almost, like when you zoom out, you want to make sure that your positions are right, or if you go back in, you're looking at the side of the car. That is exactly where it is. So it took me about a week or so to kind of say, okay, do I trust these cameras? Because I've had some that were pretty clear.
I could probably make that a little bit better now.
Yeah, now it's on camera. You want to make sure you're exact.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Let's improve on that. And now it thinks you're trying to find a parking space, so it's going to help you find a parking space.
Okay, so that should be about dead center. And then you went to this right here.
And you can actually see. Watch this. Yeah. If you had dead center. Let's look.
We're not dead center.
You're not. Nope. No. So look, you're on that line almost, right? And then over here, you've got the space.
Wow, that's pretty crazy technology.
Very
cool. I think we'll call that good enough for government work.
Is that good enough?
Yeah, I think so. All right, guys, I'm in manual mode now. I want to go ahead and demonstrate this car on a little bit of a sporty drive. Now, as you can see, it's got plenty of performance. You know, and you know, it will shift for you if you get to the very top of the RPM band, but in the end of the day, you can have a little bit of fun with it. In sport mode, the steering definitely tightens up. It's so funny too, because when you move the steering wheel, the bolsters actually follow you, which is something. And yeah, I mean, when you feel, I mean, it takes, this has a hybrid power plant, which injects a little bit of electricity into the powertrain to kind of get you up to speed, and then the turbochargers at that point are spooled, and then of course the engine just propels you forward. It's very good though. In fact, if you didn't tell me this car wasn't hybrid, like what I'm trying to say is, if you didn't tell me that this is a hybrid powertrain, I would never know. It's that good. Other than this little power EQ charge here in the bottom right hand corner, I thought this was just a gas-powered car. You know, some electric engines, you know, they'll shut the engine off, they'll drive on electricity. The engine's always on, and frankly, you just never even know it had that capability. It's nice to have, though, because it gets a pretty good fuel economy. And I just wanted to show you, well, that's a good little brake test there. And it just downshifted into first gear, and it didn't cause any issues. So the dual clutch is very refined, even in sport mode. Well, guys, if you made it this far into the video, sincerely appreciate you watching. Hope you learned something. I gotta say, this thing is packing a lot of technology, a lot of looks, super comfortable, incredible to drive. Like Gabriel said, gives you energy.
It does.
You
You
know?
want comfort, a daily driver, and even something you can travel in. The trunk is enormous. The family, the kids always fight over who's going to sit in what seat, especially the outboard seats, and my little one sits in the middle. So 5 of us driving long distance. The crazy thing is even after an 8-9 hour drive, you get out of the car, you don't even know you've taken a trip. You can't find many vehicles that can provide that kind of refreshing comfort for any price.
And speaking of road warriors, the size gas tank this thing has, what, 20 gallon, 25 gallon? So you can get 30 miles a gallon.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting 600 miles of range.
And you're flying in just silence.
Right.
So you don't even, you know, again, you don't hear the road noise. You're only hearing what you want to hear, as much or as little as you want to. So, yeah.
It's really incredible. And then you got to wonder how many more years they're going to make the V8 twin turbo.
Yeah.
I mean, this has got to be the last run because they got the EQS, which we just reviewed, and I'd be honest with you, I'd buy that all day, every day over it.
An S Class is not an EQS. They
It's
did
not.
it was a good attempt.
Good
but it's not an
interior,
S-Class.
but it just doesn't have that je ne sais quoi of this car, you know. Those engines are so good.
You got it. You better believe that's right. I agree completely.
But hey, I don't know how many more years you're gonna be able to get them, right? I mean, you tell me, guys, how many more years you're gonna be able to get a V8 twin turbo? 5 years, 10 years? I don't see it much more past that. Unless they start inventing e-fuels and Porsche's working on it, right? But I don't know. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. We do this content weekly, and this is it for us. We will catch you on the next video. I'll talk to you later.